Remember, the next episode after this is already up live and available to watch now by over 4,500 incredible fans on the world's largest and highest earning anime and manga Patreon in the world. The links are in the pinned comment and description. See you there. Now about what your dear brother Lucif was telling me. Seems being the Grand Priest should not have been my goal after all. So our story continues with the unbelievable return of God of Destruction Vegito, the Omni Vegito from Castiel's multiverse, sent to the demon realm by the priest in a plan to keep him there forever on a mission to train and defeat the various monsters down there. But in a shock twist, returning only a single minute later, claiming to be finished, and with a baby Zycor inexplicably in his arms. Huh? Vegito-chan is back! Huh? This has to be an illusion! How could time be so different in the demon realm that he'd be back already? As both Zeno the Omni King and Dai the Grand Priest would turn around with caution, not quite believing their eyes, but for two totally different reasons. Whoa! How do you look even cooler now? Your clothes have changed, and your eyes are red. Whoa, you look scary. Are you sure you're Vegito-chan? With the childlike Zeno just fixated on Vegito's appearance while... You cannot be here no matter what you say. How could you possibly find a way back here without my intervention? No demon can come to the mortal realm so easily! As Dai would know full well, the only way a creature could return from the demon realm should be through at least a merger of realms occurring. Hold on, boys. Dai's brother is crying again. Let me fix this. Pretty sure I learned enough from Gohan, Goten and Trunks. As the new father would angrily look at his pouting baby son and immediately generate of all things a dummy made of purple energy. And just like that, stopping the tears and yells instantly, Vegito would fatherly place the dummy in the child's mouth. A cute moment until... With violence and seemingly no care in the world, the fused Saiyan would toss the baby straight up high into the sky, even surprising the Grand Priest with his callousness. But it would seem, of course, our hero was no evil being, as we would then see the baby Zycor safely protected up above, in a sphere of protective energy made from the same that his dummy was made from, above only to save him from the noise and destruction of what was about to take place. That child! You say it is my brother! Rani's child! You dare claim to have mated with my mother? How do you come up with such lies? As Dai, looking up with a mixture of shame and disbelief, would stare carefully, trying to decipher if there was any truth to Vegito's words. Stay on topic, priest. One question at a time. Not my fault your mother is so easy. You know as well as I do, that kid is your kin. Just have a sense of the divine energy he's got. But as for how I got here, I was confused on that at first. But turns out there was a Saiyan down there training as well, and he knew his own way to get out whenever he pleased. I think his name was Giblet, or something weird like that. As unbelievably, much like in one of the timelines we already saw, where a shallot existed who escaped from the demon realm, his twin brother would exist in this one. But regardless, Vegito would then nonchalantly start walking forward to Dai and Zeno, letting out with his hands on his hips. But anyway, enough exposition. I'm back. I've trained. I've mastered the Seraphim and defeated everything moving down there. I've done all you asked, including getting rid of that ugly brother of yours you said was as strong as you. What? You defeated Lucif? That cannot be! I refuse to believe that! As this would be the most shocking reveal of all for the priest, knowing full well his older brother's power was not just the same as his, but actually far stronger. I'm afraid it's true. As confidently folding his arms with a smirk and a stare right into Dai's eyes, Vegito would continue. That red freak had been training for a long time. He was definitely a tough fight. But with two Saiyan geniuses that can't lose within me, it was only a matter of time till I put him to sleep. And now I've conquered him by default. That just means I can beat you too, doesn't it, priest? So I'm wondering, do I get your position now? No, you do not. You will never. Because what you say and what is actually reality is not the same. I don't believe a word you say. As now angered, panicked as well, Dai would lose his cool and lift his fist, choosing to be deluded. Good! I was hoping you'd say that, because Lucif told me it's the Omni King I should aim for! As instantly turning his gaze and blasting forward, Vegito would change objectives and come at Zeno for a surprise attack. He dares attack the Omni King! Huh? Vegito-chan, are we playing? As momentarily, Dai would not even be able to believe someone would so brazenly attack the god of all, while Zeno naively would have no clue what danger was even approaching him. Sorry, kid, but I need the Omni King's power! As ultimately, Zeno would just stand like a useless log, staring in innocence, as Vegito's fist would be ready to smash right through his skull. But at that very moment, the Grand Priest would remember who he was, vanishing instantly, his eyes locked on the situation. You have gone one step too far. Ooh, Dai! As immediately transforming all the way to his final form, the Grand Priest would show his mettle, stopping Vegito's violent fist at the last second, as Dai would watch on oblivious to how serious the situation even was. So you finally show the real you. Lucif told me that short stack version of you was just a facade, So this is what a true elite angel looks like.
As grinning regardless of his punch being stopped, like it were no problem, Vegito would seem pleased to finally see the Grand Priest's full power. But smiling or not, Dai's grip on his fist would be tightening by the second, the Saiyan's arm beginning to tremble, as this multiverse's Dai would actually seem to be stronger than any version of Dai we had seen before. Staring forward with his Saiyan completed Seraphim and letting out, "Lucif told you, did he? Was this before or after you pretended to defeat him? You say you have mastered the Seraphim, yet only I have these eyes, and these eyes see through all of your lies, Vegito-san." But the trembling of Vegito's arm, on hearing that, would begin moving so fast, it would begin blurring. Is he? As Vegito would then immediately make Dai's cold words seem like nothing, vanishing and reappearing behind the angel's back to strike him from behind. His speed, a little faster than I thought, but no problem. As stumbling forward, Dai would be unwilling to accept that what just happened was anything to worry about.
Hi! What was that about fast? What?
As Vegito grinning away and truly just looking like a spread of colors in his blur, with how fast he would be moving, would already sideswipe himself right in front of Dai. But the priest with his so-called completed Seraphim would quickly try to attack with a straight right, but the fusion would dodge that like it were child's play.
Right, my go now!
As instantly countering with a left hook back, Dai would have his face rocked instantly. His whole head snapped over 90 degrees to the side, on the verge of snapping from impact alone. Sending the angel backwards with speed, his body and position looking far from regal, as he would continue to flail uncontrollably. But even with him already on his way back, Vegito's foot would begin moving in super speed yet again. How is he doing this?
Doing what, Dai?
Until reaching straight behind the priest yet again, but this time with both his fists pulled back on either side until...
Doing this?
As then crunching his fists together on both sides of Dai's temple, like the most brutal of vice grips, the priest would be left screaming, lucky to not be left with brain damage. And Dai would immediately fall to the floor as a result. The severe damage would be apparent by him instantly coughing out blood in shock. All while this Vegito, from another multiverse, would giggle behind without a care in the world. You! And in disrespect, the regal divine Grand Priest would not even be allowed to rest for a moment, being grabbed by the skull and his hair and pulled up, before Vegito would raise his whole body and... unleashing a swarm of beatings on his back with multiple strikes, as the little Zeno would watch alone. Dai? Vegito-chan is stronger than you now. Huh. As it would seem, even the naive childlike god would begin to realize maybe this Vegito was not the same man he had said goodbye to.
This power! You had none of this before! I cannot think what you could have done down there to gain so much power this quickly. Did you absorb Lucifer?
But as Dai would be held up, groaning in agonizing pain, he would wonder too how such a change would occur in Vegito.
Absorbing? What kind of lazy fighter do you take me for? This is my own strength. I told you, time moves differently down there. I'm a god now, remember? I don't age anymore, so I can't really keep track of time. But I was probably training for decades. Decades!
As with that bombshell let out, Vegito would then toss the beaten priest down onto the ground like a piece of trash.
Decades in a minute! But that means, dear Lucifer, how long have you suffered down there?
And in a somber, unexpected note, it would seem in this multiverse, in his seemingly final moment, Dai would think of his older brother.
Don't worry, I won't hurt you anymore.
As a Saiyan foot would then land on Dai's chest, but very gently.
What is it you want? Not you. I want the kid's job.
As in a triumphant final pose, standing 2 feet deep right on top of Dai, with his arms folded and not a single scratch on him, this Vegito had proven himself without a doubt the strongest god, with only Zeno left in his way.
Well, Zeno, what do you say? I know you like me and all, but this is just business. I need to wield the power of an Omni King, and you're the only one who can give it to me. Are you ready to fight, or do you need more time?
But a still scarily unfazed Zeno, despite hearing this in the distance, would just respond, I guess I'm ready. I thought we were going to play, but I guess this is the same. I'm just confused though. Why do you want to be the Omni King? You know it's a really boring job, right?
Boring or not, according to Lucifer, once I beat him, I became the devil, the supreme being of the demon realm, and my power skyrocketed from that alone. You, on the other hand, are the supreme being of the mortal realm, a realm far larger that has given you universe-destroying abilities. If I take your role, not only will I gain the strength of that level, but according to Lucifer, I'll even be on a level beyond that. An Omni Devil. The kind of power I could have only dreamt of. Tell me honestly, is what he said true? I'm going to find out for myself anyway.
To which Zeno would reply with little thought, it is true, I think, but that doesn't really explain much. His power Really that fun? I have lots, but there's nothing I can do with it.
Lots, huh? Well, allow me to cure your boredom. As now, you have someone you can use it all on. No holding back. Show me what awaits me when I stand over your grave.
As completely enthused, not backing down at all from a foe who could vaporize entire galaxies, Vegito would jump straight off Dai and get into Goku's fighting stance. My grave? I don't know what game this is, but you know I can't fight, right? I don't know how to. Plus, beating me won't make you the Omni King.
Huh? You don't know how to fight the Omni King. Who wrote this story?
As left positively perplexed, Vegito's face would morph into a comedic expression of disbelief. What story? As a straight-faced Zeno would continue. I think maybe Lucif told you fibs, just so he could get back at us. Dai, can you tell him?
Of course, my lord.
As Dai, still battered and bruised on the ground, would begin letting out on command.
Vegito-san, you have been misled indeed. Becoming the Omni King, or the Grand Priest, was never like how you became a destroyer. It has nothing to do with defeating us. To become the next Omni King or Grand Priest, you must fuse with them. What? Fusion? Like with these Patara I have?
As immediately, Vegito would turn back in confusion. But the priest would explain,
No, those earrings are material of the Kais. We gods have our own fusion ability, one that yields far greater results too. But it must be done willingly, with consent. A safeguard against those unworthy of such power. And unfortunately, you are one of those unworthy sorts. Unworthy? Then maybe I should just kill you both then, if you're of no use to me.
As suddenly, the smiles would fade when his plans would come to a screeching halt, erupting into a fury as he would yell,
Willingly? What a joke! How the hell can I ascend now? Neither of you would be so dumb to give up your posts!
I would, Vegito-chan. Like I said, it's boring. So I'd agree if you promise me one thing.
Lord Zeno!
As with this bombshell coming from Zeno himself, both Vegito and Dai would be stunned alike, their eyes wide open as they would wait to hear more of what the Omni King was saying. As Zeno himself would gleefully come over to Vegito, now with speed and a smile on his face, saying, So, what do you say? I'll fuse with you if you promise that you'll be the one who makes being an Omni King fun for once. A lot more fun than it was for me. If you can do that, then I'll be happy for you to take my place.
What?
As yet again, Dai would yell out, totally feeling like he were in a dream, or maybe his worst nightmare.
Oh, Zeno, I knew you and I would get along. I can definitely promise that. It's a deal. The minute I become Omni King, you can sit back and watch as I stir everything up.
Lord Zeno! Do not do this! Leaving Dai to just protest in vain as... Sorry, Dai, but I'm sold. I've done this for long enough. It's time for me to have some fun. As suddenly, not listening anymore to his sworn advisor, Zeno would miraculously begin being coated in an energy. Until he himself would become said divine energy, using his last moments to wave goodbye to the Grand Priest, before he would then begin transmuting right onto Vegito, covering the Saiyan in aura too.
Zeno! What is he doing?
Leaving Vegito in a serene but confused state temporarily, as his whole body would undergo the same transitioning to straight up energy, his body becoming a ghostly white. And before long, the two would vanish in pure light, like a firework had burst, and right in front of Dai. No! No! As the priest himself would be lost in the light, his body, though injured, his mind still fighting for this to stop. But little would he know, it would be too late. As soon, a signature grin would be seen, and then a recognizable face with its eyes closed in anticipation until...
Welcome to a new era of the multiverse.
Until finally, Omni Vegito would be born, the first Saiyan to become both Omni King and Devil, the Omni Devil. Levitating divinely in the air, his clothing instantly changed into that of Zeno's, an aura of pure confidence and power exuding from him, as his smug smile would reveal he had accomplished everything he had come to do, and in record time. Lord Zeno, why would you do this? As now forcing himself up to be sitting, the final form Dai would stare at his new majesty. As Vegito's legs would slowly and softly come down to the ground and...
Now Dai, about what you were saying about those eyes of yours. Tell me, how do they compare to mine?
As finally too, those signature white seraphim Omni Vegito had would now have an answer to where they came from. A variant seemingly exclusive to those with the power of an Omni King, as Dai's completed Saiyan set would be well and truly trumped. White seraphim? What is that? Why do they feel sharper than mine? But before Dai could even question anymore, it would seem the new Omni King would have no mercy, instantly pushing out his hand as... Dai would find his whole body now covered in divine flames and aura. You! What do you gain from my death? As knowing he was about to die in this multiverse, just like he had in others. He would only ask one more time just what this Vegito's motives were, good or bad. But it would seem he would soon get his answer, and it would be the unexpected, as Dai would notice, "My injuries, my wounds, they have healed." As soon Dai would be lost again in the light, but this time in serenity, becoming just a flash until a smaller silhouette would begin to emerge and... "Vegito-san, you have spared me and made me stronger." As back in his original form now, completely untouched and blemishless, Dai would notice he would even be improved by his new lord. And almost immediately, this new Omni King would descend down to the ground to his advisor, and nervously, knowing who was in his presence now, Dai would whisper, "So, what is it you will do with me now? Will I now just serve you, Lord Vegito? Forgive me for my past actions." And without holding any sort of grudge, Vegito would just smirk and reply,
Lord Vegito, I like it. But yes, you will continue serving. Zeno's knowledge has been imparted to me, and that means there's a few things and people you need to show me. But know that you only have a few years left in this position. After that, I have a suitable replacement. Someone actually intelligent and redeemable. Even you would be happy with him.
Dai, hearing this, knowing it's not something he could exactly protest, would mutter, "Replacement? Who do you have in mind exactly? Another destroyer you know? Or perhaps Whis?"
Not quite, but much better than those options, I promise.
As Vegito would then spread out his left arm and a portal would begin to open. And of all people, within it, Gohan would be seen, studying away with glasses and all, as Vegito would introduce him saying,
"My son Gohan, he's a scholar, and much more level-headed than I. He's a Saiyan 2, so the same potential as me to become very strong. Stronger than any Grand Priest that came before. He's always had a strong sense of justice, even going by the pseudonym The Great Saiyan. So rest assured, the multiverse is in good hands. The only problem is, he has a young child at the moment, so we'll leave him be until she's older, and then he can do some real good."
To which Dai would just say back, "I see. I guess like Zeno, I should accept I have done this long enough as well. All things must come to an end. But until then, what should we do, Lord Vegito?"
About that.
As suddenly grinning and bending over Dai with his hands on his hips, Vegito would let out,
"About what I said. You still need to show me a few things. So your first task is to bring me the 5 strongest."
And so soon enough, standing before the newly crowned Omni King, the 5 strongest of the universe and multiverse would emerge and still largely be unchanged from what we'd seen even from Ultra Vegito's multiverse. As watching from afar, Dai would observe in silence, while the white Seraphim Vegito would peer around at the 5 and comment,
So these are the 5 guys. Had I met you a year ago, you would have been a fun test. Individually, you're all weaker than the priest, but together, you should put up a far greater challenge. Come, all of you, give it your best shot.
Cocky as ever, I see. As Dai, watching from above, would add, together they may be stronger, you're correct, Vegito-sama, but they are still nothing to you as you are now. What will this even prove? As immediately following this, almost as if answering Dai, Omni Vegito would close his eyes and place both his arms behind his back, muttering out in pure disrespect, I should probably give you a handicap. So here you go. I can't see nor use my arms. Land one punch on me and you'll prove your position in the 5. Fail though, and you're all going back to being nobodies. As hearing such an order would leave absolutely all 5 stunned and in different ways.
An Omni King who can fight? Now that's a change. Of course he'd be a Saiyan to be this deluded.
As stepping forward, instantly in annoyance, cracking his knuckles, the legendary Yomoshi, ready to perhaps teach Vegito a lesson.
Careful what you wish for, Omni King!
As instantly, doing what Vegito had ordered him, Yomoshi would fly in with his fist already cocked back.
What?
But with no eyesight or not, the ancient Saiyan would miss entirely, the Omni King's body seemingly just moving on instinct alone.
Tell me when you're ready to start. I can't see, remember?
But with that triggering comment, Yomoshi would roar and pull back both fists to unleash hell.
You've started, right?
But no matter how many attacks would come and how fast they would be, Omni Vegito would leave trails of after images, avoiding absolutely everything.
Alright, well if you're not going to make a move, I guess I will.
As continuing on his goading remarks, he would indeed make a move, slamming a ludicrously hard kick right at Yomoshi, but with seemingly no effort at all. But just as Yomoshi would fly away, coming from behind Vegito, the 4 other members of the 5 would retaliate.
Hold on, I hear something now. The rest of them finally realized they need to attack together.
As getting himself into a better position, Vegito's response would be to jump straight into the sky, as below, the 5 strongest would switch their sights above, ready to prove their worth. But it would be at this very moment we would miraculously change to a familiar scene. Studying again? Ever since Dad left, this is all I do. It's like she's punishing me for Dad leaving. As we would then be treated with the sight of a very bored Goten, a year older, as behind him, Chi-Chi would be busy cleaning dishes. But looking back, the young Saiyan would question, "Can I just go play with Trunks? I haven't seen him in a week, Mum." But Chi-Chi, turning with a smile, would say, "Oh, Goten, you're just like your brother was, always wanting to play. But look what happened when he knuckled down and studied. My son, the scholar. I want you to do even better. You're going to be the family's doctor." But just as Chi-Chi would express these dreams, the young boy would vanish, and not on purpose. Goten? Goten! Where did you go? As what would start out as a mild surprise would quickly turn into a full-on breakdown as her youngest son would disappear into thin air. As unexpectedly, this vanishing would be to arrive right in front of Omni Vegito of all people. The young Saiyan immediately noticing the royally dressed man, of course not recognizing him, as he would comment, "Where am I? And who are you? You kind of have the same key as Dad. Are you..." Whoa! But before the question could fully be formed, looking down, Goten would notice something that would give him much more important questions to ask. What happened here? As strewn across the floor in front of both Omni Vegito and Goten would be the bodies of the 5 strongest, all beaten, all unconscious, and just as the Omni King had promised, stripped of their roles. Just a little accident, Goten. As for who I am, you can think of me as a good friend of your father. And I've brought you here because I'm about to make you far stronger than he ever was. Get ready, my new 5th of the 5 strongest.
But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag Goten in the comments down below and let me know just what Omni Vegito does now. Or just find out what happens right now on my Patreon, where you can see the full next video, fully voice acted, soundtracked and edited for you to enjoy with over 4,500 plus other fans, as well as getting access to 250 plus other fan mangas too. It's the deal of the century.